Well, welcome to the Friday Bubble. I'm here with Essi Avellan, bringing you some of the latest new releases. And one of these is the Laurent-Perrier 2012. It's just launching, and I was lucky to have a sneaky preview of this a few months ago. So I'm really looking forward to trying it. This was disgorged in autumn last year. So when I tasted it at the Maison, it was relatively close to disgorgement. So I'm hoping now, with a little bit more time, we're going to see it have settled down. Let's have a look how it's tasting. Essi, you were with me when we had a little preview some months ago. What were your initial impressions of it back then?
Yeah, there is the vintage, it's one of my absolute favorites, 2012, and also I think that the Laurent-Perrier vintage is one of the really guaranteed quality wines. So I think that was my first impression, that it was really exactly what I was expecting. But it'll be nice to see it now, a few months after, to see if it has moved anywhere.
Now, you love 2012, but please taste it.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think we forget is it actually was a really, when you talk to all the chefs de carves, they said it was a very challenging year. And in the end of the day, they ended up with 25 to 30% less because of all the weather and climate challenges that year. But what they did end up with a nice ripening period, was a small quantity of something quite good.
Exactly, and super concentrated fruitiness, but still the acidity remained nice, so they are not at all heavy. There is lovely energy, nervosity to the 12s, which is to me very very attractive. And already quite open as this wine is as well. It is quite generously fruity, clearly ripely fruity, not quite sun-kissed, but getting towards this sort of tropical field, and comes with that lovely reductive toasty note, as we always have with Laurent-Perrier.
So the Laurent-Perrier vintage is always 50-50, 50 Chardonnay, 50 Pinot Noir, and the fruit on this is really quite intense today. I remember when we tasted it a few months ago, it was the Chardonnay dominating. Today I'm actually picking up some of the toastiness, but I think some of the red fruit is coming out, which is fascinating.
It's true. Mostly, many times I find that it tastes the Laurent-Perrier vintage tastes more Chardonnay than Pinot Noir, even if they are always 50-50. But here I agree that the red fruit comes across quite strongly. If I said that it was quite approachable and open on the nose, I'm actually surprised how tight the palate is.
Right.
This really speaks of longevity to me. It is super concentrated, intensive, punchy, and there's just so much so much that it's still holding back.
One of the fascinating things with the Laurent-Perrier vintages is they've only just moved on from 2008, and they haven't made obviously the vintages between, but the nice thing is they have these extra long lees aging, and I'm hoping, the reason I told you that story is I'm hoping that's really benefiting what we're seeing in the Magnum.
And nowadays there's this trend that many producers like to make as many vintages as possible. But I must say that I also appreciate a lot of the Laurent-Perrier way, which is to only make the really finest. So it's such a guaranteed choice always. There are no element of bad surprise, only good surprise.
Now this we're hoping.
Wow. Well, here we are more on the white fruit, but so sweet fruit. It's lovely. Much more toast. A little bit of gunpowder.
Isn't that funny? You've got a little bit of that Magnum effect Essi was mentioning with the gunpowderiness. Yeah. But it's funny, we've come back to the yellow, so the Chardonnay is coming.
Absolutely.
Chardonnay is more forward in the, and that might make sense because I guess they develop much more slowly in the Magnum. And when we tasted these 3 or 4 months ago, certainly the bottle was more Chardonnay dominant, and now it's more Pinot dominant, so a little bit of evolution.
There is lovely tightness on the palate to this, and the bubbles are again super refined. The texture is amazing. It's really lacy, very vibrant. This is a lovely one. The Magnum is outstanding.
There's some juicy fruit in there, really rich fruit. And then you get this freshness of the 2012 acidity, and I'm not quite sure which flavours to try and describe, because the red fruit is actually there. And this is an interesting vintage, because I think in 2008 it was much more Chardonnay that seemed to be dominant. Whereas this is fascinating. The
really
Pinots.
super fruity. It's so fruit packed and delicious. There is great acidity as well, but it's still sort of behind that fruit, so it's wonderful.
And how would you describe the sort of variation in bottle versus magnum here, Essi? Because
yeah, as we already said, that definitely more red fruit, more yellow fruit, but it's really the texture that makes that magnum so beautiful. It's super elegant.
yeah, there's a soft, gentle roundness to this magnum, isn't there? That's creamy and well, I'm going to choose my magnum, as you might expect. To thank you, Essi,
Thank you.
and happy Friday, everybody.